Started off working at my mom's house. But I'm still stuck inside my mom's house. Dreaming about 10 bands when I'm walking out. Then I wake up, boy, what you talking about? You ain't never gonna catch me slipping. Just wait until you see me winning. And I'ma tell you from the jump, I just hope you listen. Homie, wait until you see me winning.
Welcome back to another edition of Cover 2 Sports. I'm Chase Hope.
I'm Tex Armstreet.
And around here, we just never have blown coverage.
Never do.
With the holidays coming up, guys, we've got a pretty special announcement we're wanting to make. It's the season of giving.
So we have 5 Jadeveon Clowney jerseys to give away. And we're going to be doing a contest on our Twitter and on our Facebook. And so what you're going to have to do on our Facebook page is you're going to have to like and share the post and like the page. And also on Twitter, you're going to have to like the post, retweet it, and follow us. So we'll be looking coming up this week, be looking for more stuff about that, and we'll let you guys know as we know more.
We'll have the post on Wednesday for sure. But, man, we've got to talk about these red-hot Boston Celtics.
Yeah, I mean, after starting the season 0-2, and now they're up to 15 games, and
almost halfway to the record.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen some people do this before. We've seen some teams go on some runs, and nobody's ever really come close. But this team, they feel like improbable winners, because Gordon Hayward gets hurt.
Yeah, their biggest free agent acquisition.
Yeah, their biggest free agent. He gets hurt at the beginning of the season, 6 minutes into the first game. Mm-hmm. So then they're like, oh man, there's the season, and then they go on this 15-0 run. Their offense has not been that good. Their offense is ranked 21st out of 30 teams.
Yeah. But
it's been predicated on their defense. That's where they've won. They've been rated by, who was it that the NBA Advanced Stats, they've rated their defense as the number 1 defense in the league.
Yeah, and I mean, they're using their defense to create their offense.
And yes, they are, and it's unbelievable to watch this team that nobody thought they thought they were gonna be good, but you got people like Steve Kerr saying that they are the top dogs in the East. Not the Cavs. They're saying that they are who they're gonna meet in July.
Yeah. And
they're saying it's very, very probable, and who knows, maybe Hayward comes back.
I mean,
at the very end of the season for the playoffs,
Yeah, I mean,
and if you put him into a stalemate of an offense where the defense is having to pick up the pace, it's gonna be a different ball game. It's gonna be a different team.
And a lot of times, in today's NBA, you talk about people saying, "Well, where's the defense?" Well, you need to watch Celtics.
Yeah, and I mean, everybody's giving credit. Marcus Smart, even though he hasn't been good offensively, he's been very good defensively.
Yep.
Kyrie's been shutting guys down. They shut the Warriors down, but the biggest reason I feel. And I feel like some people need to talk about it more. It's Brad Stevens.
Yeah, I agree. And going into the offseason, I know Brad Stevens didn't have much to do with this, but when they traded their arguably best on-ball defender in Avery Bradley, I never would have thought they're going to come into this year have the best defense. But, I mean, that just speaks truths about Brad Stevens' ability to coach.
I mean, look what he did. Look what he did to Butler.
Yeah, he made Butler a powerhouse.
Top-tier program.
Yeah.
And they still kind of are. It's kind of resonated. Even since he's left it in good hands, and he's done a lot to build the program. And so they're calling it the Brad Stevens era, Yeah. And he emphasizes defense, and it's really been a catalyst to this. After going 0-2 and then winning 15 straight, I did see this coming.
And I absolutely hated to see Gordon Hayward go down because back in Gordon Hayward's days at Butler playing for Brad Stevens, I was looking forward to see what they were going to be able to do this year.
Yeah, that connection they had.
And whenever he went down, I never would have expected, we're going to lose another game, but then we're going to come off win 15 straight.
Yeah, it just shows because it's been their defense. Their offense has been okay at times, but they've been really stalled at places. But it's Brad Stevens is taking these young guys, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, these young guys. He's taking them and transcended them into everyday players.
Yeah, and he has a good mix of veterans. You have Kyrie, the kind of like the catalyst on offense.
Even though he's so young, he's such a big
he's still young.
Instrumental part.
And then you have Al Horford. He's a good veteran presence. He's able to help Tatum grow. I mean, this is a very good Celtics team.
It's very good, and they only have the ability to get better at this point.
Yep.
With Brad Stevens, with like we're talking about Hayward coming up, and the potentials they have for getting more guys in there. Because now the biggest thing is something else that people aren't talking about is how attractive Boston is to play now.
And especially with the salary cap still projected to keep rising for the NBA.
And so, like, you've got it back. This Celtics team is back in, like, 08 when KG and Truth and Ray Allen and all those guys came together because people want to play there now.
Yeah.
People come there, and you got defensive wizards, and you got a guy like Brad Stevens who can play anybody and make them look a little bit better than they are.
And, I mean, and the city of Boston, I feel like that speaks for itself. Look at all their franchises. I mean, you have the Boston Red Sox, the New England Patriots, the Boston Bruins. All of them are arguably top-tier franchises in all their respective
Premier
sports.
teams in every single sport they're in. And it just they went out and Brad Stevens is going to make them a winner again.
And like we were talking before the show, Tex was saying, Brad Stevens is arguably the best coach in the NBA. There's no way to fight it. There's no way to argue it.
Because if you put Brad Stevens with the Warriors, they're going to win. You know what I'm saying? And that's arguably the best team is the Warriors. Mm-hmm. And so, like, you take Steve Kerr and put him with the Celtics, they're probably not going to win as much as they're winning right now.
No.
You take Brad Stevens and you put him with the Warriors, that's a completely different ball club.
They probably break the Warriors record they set. They're probably winning 80 games. I mean, granted, you never know about injuries, but
I mean, if everybody stays healthy and they bring in more guys, there's no, you know what I'm saying? I think head coach. A lot of times people like to blame the players or they give all the credit to the players, but you have to give credit to the coaches because the coaches in any sport can make or break a team completely. You see what's happening in the NBA with some of those guys. You see what's happening in the NFL with guys like McAdoo, where people with the Giants, they don't like him, so they're not winning ball games. And there's just been coaches make questionable decisions all the time, but some of them are more, they hurt a team or help a team more so than others. And I think Brad Stevens is making all the right decisions right now.
You know who's not making the right decisions?
I'm pretty sure you're about to say Sean McDermott.
Sean McDermott of the Buffalo Bills.
Man, what a terrible experiment that happened yesterday. What a terrible experiment.
I mean, you're going to bench Tyrod Taylor, who he's not the best quarterback in the NFL. He's certainly not the flashiest, but he's able to go out there and win you ball games.
I saw something on social media this past week after he got benched, and it was comparing him to Marcus Mariota. Mm-hmm. Mariota started 32 games. Tyrod started 35.
Yeah.
Tyrod has thrown less interceptions. He has right around the same amount of yardage.
But this stat was only targeting wide receivers.
Just wide, like all-purpose yards, only throwing to wide receivers. And so the whole point of the image that we saw, the graphic, was that they're similar players.
Yeah.
In their targets to wide receivers. Now, granted, Mariota's biggest target is a tight end, but if you think about it, if in Nashville somebody called for the benching of Marcus Mariota, they would ask for that entire organization to be fired.
Yeah. Well, another thing is honestly, Mariota's, in my opinion, he's had better wide receivers to throw to than Tyrod Taylor. Now, granted, Tyrod Taylor had Sammy Watkins, but how often is Sammy Watkins on the field?
Yeah.
Before that, he's throwing to Marquise Goodwin and Robert Woods.
And that's what I'm saying. He's turning nothing into something.
Yeah, and he can extend plays with his legs. He's not injury prone. And the Buffalo Bills are going to bench him, and they're just going to throw Nathan Peterman, a 5th-round draft pick, into the fire.
I mean, he only had a week to prepare.
Yeah, and he's a 5th-round pick. It's not like he's expecting to play, and I'm not going to lie, it really pisses me off because I feel bad for Peterman.
Listen, man, if I'm Peterman, I'm sitting here and, one, I'm just happy to be in the NFL. I'm a 5th-round pick. I'm like, yo, I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy to have a roster spot.
I'm loving putting a jersey on. I'm loving getting paid. I'm loving just being able to go to work every day. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, my number's getting called. Like, I'm frantic because I've never played an NFL game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My college career was
I mean, looking back to college, back whenever he was with Tennessee before transferring to Pitt, Tennessee does the same thing. They throw him in the fire against a good Florida football team. And all that does is mess with your psyche. And then he struggles the next year, transfers to Pitt. He's able to turn it all around. He's able to salvage his college career to be good enough to get drafted. He gets drafted by the Buffalo Bills in the 5th round. He's not expected to go out there and start. Honestly, he shouldn't even be your backup. But you decide to bench Tyrod Taylor for whatever reason. You're going to bring in Peterman, let him only have a week to prepare against a good Chargers team. They're not bad. They have Bosa and Ingram coming off the end. Yep. They have good corners. it's not like he's going out there and playing a piss poor defense.
It's not like he's playing against the Browns.
Yeah, and I mean, even the Browns' defense is good this year.
I mean, I think he would have. I don't know if he would have thrown 5, but I think he would have at least thrown 2 because some of the people were trying to tell me, they were blowing up my phone. They were talking like, "Oh, it's just because he's young, whatever." You know what I'm saying? But a lot of those picks weren't even just like pop-ups, where it bounced off the receiver. They were clear, like looks like he was throwing to the other team.
Yeah.
And as old Blake Bortles says, try to throw to your team as much as you can. That's how you're gonna win ball games,
Yeah.
And it's just like, I feel bad for both of those guys.
Yeah,
Peterman comes in, like you said, all the things that we've said about him not getting time to prepare. So he's not put in a position to win.
All that's going to do is mess with his psyche even more. Like he's going to. What if he goes back to his Tennessee days and starts struggling? You better have somebody there saying, "Hey, man, that's our fault. You weren't ready."
And in that position, do you think that Tyrod's going to step? Like, I'm not saying anything about Tyrod's personality as a person or whatever.
Yeah.
But if I'm a top tier quarterback, which he's been,
yeah,
and I get benched, it's going to take a lot in me to go to that guy and be like, "Listen, bro, like I understand where you're coming from. You got put in here. You're not doing so hot, but you got to." It's going to be hard for me to do that because I'm still upset that I got benched.
Yeah, and honestly, I see Tyrod being the guy that will be able to do that because he cares about the football team.
And he came into the game.
Yeah,
had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean,
he was like 15 for 25, and he almost put the game back in reach.
Yeah, with Tyrod Taylor, his whole entire time being with the Bills have never been able to really fully commit to him.
Nope.
And yet he still goes out there and wins games. He had the Bills at 5-2.
I mean,
at 5-2,
they had Manuel. They were giving more chances to Manuel than they were anybody. Like they talked more highly of him than they did Taylor.
Yeah.
And my thing is, I'm a big Texans fan. If we didn't have Deshaun Watson coming back next season, I would. If Taylor's going to be a free agent, Bills are probably not going to pay him.
No, and if I'm Taylor, I don't want screw the Bills. You know?
After what they just did to me.
Yeah, and it's not like this the first instance.
Yeah, no, it's not. And so they're not going to pay him. He doesn't. I'm not going to want to play for a team that benches me and then only puts me back in because they think I can win the ball game. Why not trust me from the get go?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And so with them not paying himself, I'm leaving.
Yeah,
and so
I would if I'm Tyrod Taylor, I'd take less money to go somewhere else. Honestly.
I would go somewhere to win. Jacksonville. Yeah. I'd go to the Giants.
If he goes to Jacksonville, man. That's going to be
Kirk Cousins is taking the job. They're going to clear the space. Kirk Cousins is going.
But I'm just saying, if they're not able to, and I mean, for Jacksonville, here's your plan: you're either going to draft somebody, which I don't see that happening.
Well, they could draft a decent backup.
Yeah.
To put with one of these guys because what they need to do is they need to go get Taylor. They need to go get Cousins. They need to go get somebody like that who can help them win right now. Then they need to take a flyer on a late first round, late second round pick.
Yeah.
So he can come in, learn the program, and then take over the team.
I agree, but if your options are Kirk Cousins or Tyrod Taylor, say you don't get Kirk, there you go. You got a quarterback who can win you games solely based on his legs.
To be honest, with the way Jacksonville's defense is set up and stuff, I'm probably in their offensive line is not bad. I'm taking Tyrod. Kirk Cousins is obviously great, but Tyrod is a better dual threat.
Yeah, and he'll be able to go in there. He'll be able to mesh with Leonard Fournette. They'll get Allen Robinson back next year.
Yep.
I mean, that team is like transformed into Super Bowl contenders overnight.
Immediately. They're a quarterback away. And so it's like it seems to be a problem in the NFL with quarterbacks, Like the Texans, Deshaun Watson goes down and then Tom Savage steps up. We sign Josh Johnson or whatever his name was. We signed TJ Yates. Thankful for what he did for us in the playoffs that one year. Mm-hmm. But the quarterback is a problem. Eli Manning is not well. Big Ben threw 5 picks in a game. The quarterback position is kind of abysmal right now. Like there's top level talent, but there's a lot of guys who shouldn't be there. I feel like personally, and it's costing people their jobs.
Yeah,
I mean, look what happened in Denver.
Yeah, I mean, Denver's gonna. They now say they're firing their offensive coordinator Mike McCoy. They've lost 6 straight games. Brock Osweiler's your quarterback.
Brock, I like to throw interceptions to Osweiler. Brock, I like to get sacked Osweiler.
Brock, I'm going to check down Osweiler.
Brock, I've been to 3 teams. None of them want to play me. None of them want to pay me. Osweiler. This man, I just ran away with the Texans $36 million on the phone, Osweiler. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This guy's not good at football.
Yeah,
he's terrible.
Yep, and then before that you have Trevor Siemian. Now, granted, Trevor Siemian was not bad, but he's not starter material in the NFL. He doesn't have the arm. He can extend plays with his legs, but you've already seen last year he's not able to get you to the playoffs. And that defensive window is closing. They're not performing nowhere like last year. They're not performing this year like they did last year. So you're going to fire your offensive coordinator, who, granted, yeah, you have weapons. You have Emmanuel Sanders and Amarius Thomas. You have C.J. Anderson and Jamal Charles coming out of the backfield. But at the end of the day, it all revolves around your quarterback. And when you're throwing Brock Osweiler out there, it's not going to happen. I don't care how much you love the guy, John Elway. He's not the answer. You know who could be the answer?
Who's that?
It could be Paxton Lynch. They did use a first round on him. Why is he not getting used?
Listen, Paxton Lynch he's a good, because, I mean, when he was with Memphis, there was not a season where he had less than 2,000 yards. You know, he had 2,000, 3,000, and then almost 4,000 in his final year.
Yeah.
A guy who has almost 9,000 yards in 3 years of college ball, and he's your first round pick, and you're not giving him a chance. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous, because Brock Osweiler came to the Texans and stunk the place up. Okay, so then what do? We get on our knees and we beg the Browns
Who had the cap
to take him away from us, and they did. And they also traded up to give us the pick to get Deshaun Watson. They're trying to help us win a championship. Then he's so bad he doesn't even start on the Browns.
No, they cut him.
They were like, we don't even want. We'll pay you the money. And they didn't do it Texans. They didn't try to trade him because nobody else was going to take him.
Yeah.
They just were like, we'll eat the money, leave.
Yeah.
And then he goes signs another 6-figure contract for about $700K to go back to the Broncos because they thought he was going to be what he was when he stepped up in Peyton's absence.
And honestly, in Peyton's absence, he wasn't that good then either.
No. They had
he really wasn't.
They had the same reason that Peyton won the championship, their defense.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a knock to Peyton Manning. He's getting old. He hit the window, you know?
Yeah,
he hit his wall.
I would rather have the defense pick me up than play a terrible game.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's like with the quarterback situation in the NFL, it's costing people their jobs. It's putting pressure on guys who don't really need the pressure. Other than Thomas, they have no offensive weapons.
I mean, Emmanuel Sanders is a good number 2, but you got to have somebody get them the ball.
And it's just when you don't have a good running game, and you don't have a good offensive game, you can't win. You know, so they're firing the offensive coordinator. Their head coach is starting to come under scrutiny.
I mean, it's his first year, but at the same time, you can't just fire the coach. The quarterback is Brock Osweiler.
And that's when it comes into people need to stop blaming the coaches, because yes, the coaches need to be able to coach.
Yeah.
But when you have a not so good team, there's only so much. You can't Bill Belichick and turn a 6-round pick into the greatest quarterback to ever play the game.
Yeah.
You know, you can't take these guys and sign them off the waiver wire and then put them in there, sign them off the practice squad and put them in there. You know what I mean? And so people have to realize that sometimes a coach can only do so much. He can only plug the hole for so long to hide. Think like Von Miller's great, cool. He's a good guy. He plays defense really well. What else they got?
I mean, their secondary. Yeah, you could argue that they got to keep to leave. They have Harris. But at the same time, they're not. The defense is not performing.
Well, even if the defense was performing, you have to score points, and they're not doing that.
Yeah.
A head coach is the most vital piece to an organization.
Yep.
In my opinion.
And you can't fire him. You cannot. I mean, the Broncos cannot justify firing Vance Joseph if they fire him, because look who you've thrown at him at quarterback. Yeah, he's got pieces everywhere else. But that quarterback can make or break you. It goes back to breaking them.
I will always bring my team in. I will bring my team into any argument I can. Bill O'Brien. Look at the quarterbacks he's had. He's a great quarterback coach. Look at the quarterbacks he's had, other than maybe Case Keenum and Matt Schaub at the beginning. He's never had a decent quarterback up until Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
When he had Case Keenum, which he's doing great for the Vikings now. Case Keenum was doing good for the Texans. He just never got his due.
Yeah.
Matt Schaub was doing good till we shipped him off, you know? And he made T.J. Yates. T.J. Yates was a starter in the first playoff win we ever had. He's been a good coach. He's just never had the personnel to put in front of him.
And I don't think there's a way to make Brock Osweiler look like the answer.
Brock
not
Osweiler
happening.
Is the problem. He will never be the answer.
Yeah.
You know, they say trust the process.
Yeah.
He's not the process. You don't
No,
need to
not
trust
at
him.
all. And the Broncos, they spent a first-round pick on Paxton Lynch for a reason. Whatever made you believe in him now, you're going to have to believe in him then. You're going to have to believe in him now.
Throw him to the Wolves. Let him learn.
I mean, he's in his second season. It's not like he's not prepared. Throw him out there.
He knows how to play football.
Yeah.
And anybody, and I mean Tom Savage, I'm talking EJ, I'm talking anybody is better than Brock Osweiler.
Yeah. And you know what? Worst case scenario, Paxton Lynch doesn't pan out. Go draft a quarterback. Go sign one in free agency.
Yeah. And best case scenario, he takes over and he's good.
Yeah.
He's above average at least.
Yeah. There's no way he can be worse.
There's no way he can be worse.
He's not gonna. I mean, he's not gonna come out there and throw 5 picks like Peterman.
No.
It's not happening.
I think that people just don't want to. They don't take time to really think about it. You know, they're like, okay, well, we're not getting results, so our coach is gone. We're not doing this, so our coach is gone. They always want to start with the top of the program. They never think about the players. That's why the Browns coach is still employed, because they know.
Yeah.
They know. They don't have the personnel to go out and win the division. They don't have the personnel to go out and win that many games.
Yep, they've started turning the defense around. Now they're going to have to transition to the offense.
For sure. And so, but like when you don't have that stuff to win, it's not always on the coaches. You know what I'm saying? And especially like when programs lose coaches, or when they don't have coaches and they have to use like an interim coach, or they just, they have to put a guy in there to be a stopgap. What are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
How are you supposed to win? How are you supposed to build rapport if you don't have a coach?
I mean, honestly, I salute to the Browns. They won 1 game last year, haven't won a game this year. They're not calling for Hugh Jackson's head.
Nope.
Because they know. They like you said, they know.
They know. And speaking of coaches, Chase, I remember last week.
Oh God.
You had said that a guy by the name of John Gruden is going to be coming to Tennessee.
He's coming.
Where's he at? His plane get docked or something?
He's not here yet, but he's coming.
Do you have any evidence to back that up?
Sure don't.
All right.
I have heart. I have 5-star heart. Butch Jones taught me that.
Hey, look, man. All I'm saying is
to be honest, he's probably not going to come. Okay. It breaks my heart to say
that John Gruden's not coming.
It breaks my heart.
Oh man, I would have called you a liar if you would have told me to put the money on that statement last week.
But
rumors.
There's several coaches out there that could take the job. There's several coaching vacancies.
You know who's coming to Tennessee?
Who's coming to Tennessee?
It's gonna be real hard. It's gonna be real hard to pan this out because the NFL season is not over. Is not over until December 31st. Okay, so it's gonna be kind of hard to get the logistics of it worked out. But I think he's coming.
Who?
I don't think you want to know who it is. Mr. Harbaugh from the Baltimore Ravens.
Why would he leave the Ravens?
It's the Ravens.
But
look what his brother did.
Yeah, look what his brother did.
His brother's taking. They're not. Michigan's not doing too well, but
exactly.
But still, you're telling me you're not going to take a Harbaugh brother?
No, I take John Harbaugh. I don't see it happening. I don't see him leaving the Ravens. For God's sake, he won a Super Bowl with the Ravens.
How long ago was that Super Bowl?
With Joe Flacco.
How long ago was that Super Bowl?
Granted, it ain't like it was yesterday, but
Lewis had Reed. Those guys are still on the defense. They don't have any guys to pick up.
As long as Baltimore's writing the checks, he's going to stay.
We'll see. I think it's an option because I think at this point, with all these head coaches, you got Florida's vacancy, you got UCLA's vacancy, you got Tennessee's vacancy. I think you have to exhaust every possible resource and option.
You
to
do
get these guys.
You do. And honestly, who I want. I want John Gruden, but me being more realistic, who I really want, bring me Lane Kiffin back. I want the Lane train. Because if you think about it, he checks all the boxes.
The Lane train.
He has the SEC experience.
Yep.
He has the coaching experience. He has recruiting experience. And for all these Tennessee Vol fans out there that I don't want to deal with Lane Kiffin ever again, y'all would have left for your dream job too. Don't tell me you wouldn't. Say you're coaching at Texas A&M, you're coaching at Florida, you're coaching any other school in the SEC, and Tennessee calls you, hey man, would you like to come? And it's your dream job? Don't act like you wouldn't take it. Don't tell me you would not take it, because I would. I know for a fact I would.
Honestly, I think he loves not being in the SEC.
He probably does, but I'd be calling him.
I'm not saying they shouldn't call him, but like if you see his Twitter account when he tweets at people and he's talking about,
it cracks me up.
You know what I'm saying? And like he's talking about how he sent FAU gear to Gruden and stuff like that. But I don't know.
I think he's loving where he's at. He's loving where he's at. He's turned FAU around. He's comfortable. He's getting paid. He knows he's got a job. He's going to wait till a job calls him that he wants. And if he doesn't want Tennessee, I can't blame him.
So, last week, Chip Kelly was reportedly going to Florida.
Yep.
It was reportedly a done deal. They were just waiting on the paperwork, whatever.
Yep.
And a week later, we haven't heard anything.
Nope.
So.
And then UCLA,
he's won there before.
Fires Jim Mora.
Yeah, on his birthday. People.
Terrible.
If that's the worst birthday present I've ever had. Hey, you know what you get for your birthday? Not job security. That's what you know. And so where do you think he goes? He's got UCLA, like you said. He's won there before, but he's
at Oregon.
Yeah, well, I mean in the same division.
Yeah, same conference.
And so Florida, obviously, a big program. He could win a lot of ball games there. Where's he going? Where do you think he should go?
In my opinion, we'll say, for instance, all three schools have contacted him.
Yep.
We'll say even Tennessee has.
UCLA,
Tennessee, and Florida, the big three job openings.
Okay.
Well, if I'm Chip Kelly, I'm knocking Tennessee out because reportedly they obviously ain't shown enough interest as the other two schools.
No.
So if it comes down to me going to UCLA or Florida, and I'm Chip Kelly, I'm going to go to UCLA.
Wow.
And here's my reason, because I know I can win the Pac-12 year in, year out. I know I can recruit the area out there. I'm at a much more prestigious football program than Oregon was whenever he first got to Oregon. He'll be able to recruit the same area, but he'll be able to get even more talent, and he's gonna turn that talent into, I mean, there's no talent. He was turning 2-star, 3-star guys into 4-star and 5-stars. So when he does get them 5 stars, I can only imagine. Now, and another reason is because in the Pac-12, they seem to recruit more offensively than they do defensively, and he's going to be able to get both. But I feel like he's got more of a chance to succeed in the Pac-12 than he does in the SEC.
Who's going to pay him more, though, is the question. I have a hard time believing that UCLA is going to be able to fork over the money that Florida will. Because here's the thing. While UCLA is a prestigious university, yada, 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 whatever, Florida is Florida.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got Gator Country. Like, they are one of the bigger schools in the NCAA. They have boosters. They have a great program with a lot of money coming through. So why would he go? Like, yes, winning is important, and he likes to win and yada yada yada, whatever. But if it's me, I'm taking the Florida job, because if I win, if I go take over Florida and I win in Florida against guys like Saban, and if they say they bring in Gruden for Tennessee, and I win against guys like Gruden and Smart, if I win against those guys, that win means more than what it would in UCLA.
But I feel like those guys that you just named, other than Gruden, because he's not there,
yeah,
are going to be even more of a reason to go to UCLA.
Wow.
Because if you think about when he was in Oregon, people were there was a debate. Who's the best college coach? Is it going to be Urban Meyer? Is it Chip Kelly? Is it Nick Saban? Well, if he goes to Florida, that debate's over. I mean, arguably you can't do that the first year, but you're going to find out real quick who's the better coach. And he goes to UCLA where he knows he'll be able to compete for that conference year in, year out. He's pretty much going to be guaranteed a spot in the college football playoff if he wins the conference, which I don't see how he would not. But if he goes to Florida and they don't win the conference, say they lose 2 games, they end up playing Alabama twice. They got to play them in the regular season. Say they end up playing them in the SEC championship and they lose both times, they're out. They are out. To me, for Chip Kelly, it's going to come down to, I don't know what numbers have been thrown out there. UCLA is going to be able to pay him. Florida, in my opinion, could obviously pay him more, but it's going to come down to, do I want to win or make money? Because he's already got plenty of money. He's racked up plenty of money from his NFL jobs. And he's still going to get paid a lot of money no matter where he goes.
True.
But it's going to come down to, do I want to win or do I want to get paid more?
So, do you think that his end goal is to get back to the NFL? Or do you think he wants to win as many ball games at whatever level and ride off into the sunset with his money in his championship rings?
I'm not sure if he wants to go back to the NFL. I mean, I could see
you think anybody would take him?
I mean, yeah, I think there'd be teams I'd take him, because if you look at it, when he first started with the Eagles, I mean, they were on fire. He made Nick Foles look like a Pro Bowler.
Yeah. That guy felt like, I don't know where that guy is anymore.
But I feel like Chip Kelly's offense his system's more fit for the college level, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I see that. I think you're right. I think that he will get paid wherever he goes.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it is, but the competitor to me, I'd rather lose 2 ball games a season in Florida than win out in a weaker conference.
I mean, I agree. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think he's going to win no matter where he goes.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a matter of well, do I want it easier or do I want it? He can't go wrong with either choice, really.
But if I've got a choice, and if I think he's a competitor like I think he is, if I've got the choice to dethrone, I'm not saying he's going to take away from the legacy that is Alabama right now.
Yeah.
But if I've got a chance like Dabo Swinney to pull off an upset and beat, because Dabo Swinney is now considered one of the best coaches, not only for his personality, but because he lost to Alabama, came back and beat him.
Yeah.
And he's gotten so much respect just from beating out, because Alabama is considered year in and year out the best college program. So if Chip Kelly can come in and he can then beat Saban, beat Smart and those guys, he's going to go down as one of the best head coaches.
In my opinion, who I think Chip Kelly wants to beat more than anybody? Urban Meyer. Because Urban Meyer, he beat Saban, right? And Chip Kelly, he beat Jimbo Fisher. And they go to the playoffs. And it really just felt like it wasn't much of a game.
Yeah.
But, either way, I can see him wanting to go beat Nick Saban. And I feel like he can't go wrong with either one of them schools. He can't go wrong.
Yeah, I feel like really with all these head coaching vacancies, there's good candidates everywhere.
Mm.
Like any coach that Tennessee brings in who's not Butch Jones is going to be good. You know what I'm saying?
I hope.
And UCLA is obviously going to do their due diligence. I think right now I compare these coaches who are looking for jobs or like who are suspected to be, like Gruden and guys like that. This is a top tier free agent class.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is a great class of coaches. And I feel like at the end of the day, whether I hate Tennessee, whether I hate Florida, whatever, I feel like all these top coaching jobs, I feel like their teams are going to be in a better place to win.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you right now how I think these jobs are going to play out.
All right.
I can see Chip Kelly going to UCLA, and he does that. I feel like Florida's going to go after Scott Frost.
All right.
He's turned UCF around they're undefeated right now. Go get him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the only one I'm really unsure about is Tennessee, because there's so many rumors. Would they take Kiffin back? Would the boosters want Kiffin back? And I feel like for Tennessee, it's either going to be a top-notch, great hire, or it's going to be an up-and-comer.
I feel like,
and Tennessee fans do not want another up-and-comer.
I feel like,
but really, if you don't get Kelly and you don't get Gruden, there's nothing but up-and-comers unless they go after Lane Kiffin or Les Miles.
But here's the thing, though. I don't know why. I felt like this since the rumors about Butch being fired had started. Mm-hmm. Okay? I feel like they're going to grab somebody that has not been reported. Like, I feel like there, or somebody who hasn't been reported a lot.
Heavily.
You know what I'm saying?
I hope and pray it's not Jeff Brom for Purdue.
But what I'm saying...
I hope and pray.
Whatever. But, like, what I'm saying is, like, obviously Gruden's been reported, Kelly's been reported, and, like, those guys could still come there.
Yeah.
Because I feel like at the end of the day, Tennessee is a good gig to take. Because if you can turn that team around and even start to win SEC games, even win the SEC championship, you're going to be heralded as the hero of Knoxville. You'll never have to pay for another beer in Knoxville again.
You don't have to pay for nothing.
You know what I'm saying? If you can turn that team around, but I feel like there's going to be somebody who just comes out of left field and just. Like, nobody saw it coming, but he's going to be a good coach.
Well, you brought John Harbaugh out of left field. I never would have thought that.
That's what I'm saying. But, you know, I think that's what's going to be. I think it's going to be a guy that nobody's really talking about that has the option to either leave his contract or who has been kind of out of the way for a while. You know what I'm saying? Like a Les Miles type, something like that.
Yeah, and Les Miles hasn't really been reported.
And that's what I'm saying. Nobody's really talking about it because they're like, whatever, we're not going to go get him.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like it's going to be. I don't feel like it's going to be a Kelly. I don't feel like it's going to be a Gruden. I don't feel like it's going to be those guys. Because I feel like Tennessee fans have kind of taken over the rumors.
Yeah.
And the groomers. I feel like they've taken it over. And the actual news has gotten so diluted. I don't know if it's going to be any of those guys.
I agree. You know another coach I could see it being? Bobby Petrino.
True.
He's out there. He's at Louisville, but...
Louisville over Tennessee. I mean, he's got Lamar Jackson, but...
Yeah, but, Lamar Jackson's probably going to the NFL.
Yeah.
So...
He'd be remiss if he didn't. But, yeah, I think that a coach is just going to come out of nowhere. Because, like I said, I just don't...
Because everybody's focusing on Gruden.
Well, it's not even that they're focusing on Gruden. They have reporters at tarmacs in the airport watching planes. Okay, like John
Reed.
Yeah,
he periscoped.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
watching planes, and that type of stuff dilutes the news. It dilutes the real news. So when real news stories break, I feel like it's gonna get lost. I feel like there's been conversations with other coaches. Nobody's paying attention because everybody's like, we want Gruden, we want Gruden, we want Gruden. But it's like they haven't even thought about any of the other possibilities. So I feel like it's going to be a guy. I feel like John Kerr's just on the phone like, hey, hey man.
I feel like Tennessee fans are going to feel disappointed, but to me, I'm not. I want Gruden. Like I wanted Gruden, but I'm not going to be disappointed in who it is unless, like I said, it's.
I think anybody's better than Butch, and I think that.
I don't know, man. I will say I think Butch was better than Dooley.
That's true, and I don't think Butch was a terrible coach.
No,
his ceiling was 9 games. That's it. Like that's what his ceiling.
Yeah.
His ceiling was never to go compete with Alabama.
Yeah.
And so I think the next guy they're going to bring in is going to have to do better than that.
Yeah.
Or else Tennessee's going to call for Curry.
Yeah.
And so I think that anybody who comes in can produce more results than Butch did.
Tennessee's on the cusp of having their worst season ever.
They're 0-13 in the SEC, 13 SEC games.
And, there's a chance. We're playing Vanderbilt, and this is not a knock to Vanderbilt, but Tennessee should beat Vanderbilt every time.
Well, no disrespect to Vanderbilt, but they should.
Yeah, and you know what really kills Vanderbilt is, Vanderbilt's a very prestigious school.
Yep.
But what kills them is their own
fans.
No, not fans. It's their own structure. Like their grades. You have to have a lot of athletes.
Yeah,
a lot of 5-star athletes. They're not.
Well, it's not
the grades.
Other than baseball, it's not really a sports school. Like
exactly.
They're known a lot for their baseball team.
Yeah, and their basketball team's good, but.
Yeah. But their baseball team, they just crank out number 1 draft picks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I see what you're saying. Like it's very hard to get athletes who will do well there.
Yeah.
From the get go, because you can't have a 2.8, you can't have a 3. You got to have really good GPA. You got to have money to get in there. So if a lot of these kids aren't getting full rides, they're not going.
Yeah.
And they've had good wins in the past couple of seasons, but they're not as prestigious as these other schools when it comes to their football program.
I completely agree. Well, guys, you heard it from Tex. Tennessee's hiring somebody out of left field.
He's coming all the way from left field. I'm talking so far out of left field.
From past the monster.
That Bryce Harper couldn't even see him.
Thank y'all for listening, guys. This is Cover 2 Sports. We never have blown coverage.
Thank you, guys.